Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening, family? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. As always, thank you so much, my friends, for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the conversation. I'm honored by the continuous support that you share with us here on this platform, here on this program, and we just want to keep that momentum going. Before we move forward, for those who happen to be streaming us right now on YouTube, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. Again, subscribe if you want to stay tuned up to you'll get notified when a new episode is dropped, and anything that occurs on our YouTube channel, you'll get notified if you again subscribe. So please subscribe to our channel. Like, it helps with the algorithm, and we want to keep on growing up those viewerships as well as subscribers. So I truly appreciate it if you can do so. In addition to that, you can also tune into past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. That's right, Goatverse TV. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, please do so. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. I'm honored to be one of the many of programs on there. It's an independent streaming channel filled with content creators from the music world, from comedy, you name it, you find it there. So support Black owned independent media as well. In addition to watching us, you can also listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all major podcast platforms, as well as on the radio airwaves. Shout out to one of our affiliates, WBOK 1230 AM in New Orleans. What New Orleans is talking about, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. And then we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's only on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and start off with our tradition. We one of our newest segments, and it was the third time doing it, so it is still fairly new, but I've been enjoying it. I've been receiving great feedback on it because, hey, at the end of the day, folks they're always wanting to know exactly a position in local politics, right? The meaning, why is it important, X, Y, and Z. And so here on this show, there's three things we have. We have fun, we are opinionated, and we want to inform you all. All right, fun, informative, and opinionated. We want to keep you guys informed. It's easy to see what's going on in Washington. We see it all the time across our TV screens. National news, and national politics. But at the end of the day, do you have that same knowledge or understanding what happens in your own backyard? Because local politics is extremely important. Whatever happens on a federal level can trickle down to the state, can also trickle down to the local level. Now, of course, states, you have state laws and then you have federal laws, two different things, but still, the federal laws do have higher power than what happens in the state. So that's why I said it all kind of trickled down to a local level. And this segment that we've been doing is presenting you the various positions in local politics. And so we started off, we talked about the school board, right? So why is this important election? Who, what's the job? What's the job consists in being, on the school board? What are some of the requirements, and what I even really, yes, requirements, and what are some of the duties of a school board member? That's what I was looking for. Because if you think about it, you would think a requirement to be on school board is like having some form of educational background, but you'll be surprised. It's again, it's politics. I know folks that are in school board that has no education background whatsoever, no teaching, no substitute teaching. I mean, like, come on, why are you in this position? So anyway, another story for another day. So we started off talking about school board, then we last program we talked about city manager, and now we're going to move on to city council and town council. So obviously town council is for more smaller communities, smaller towns. So prime example, my home city, my hometown is Chesapeake. It's a city. It's the second largest city in population wise in the state of Virginia. That's my home. That's where I reside in. Now, when I was in college, I attended a small school in a rural town in North Carolina, Murfreesboro, North Carolina. The town, I'm just gonna guess, maybe had 2,000 or a little over, and I'm saying a hard maybe, but that's what you call a town council. So with Chesapeake having, let me see, Chesapeake having well over 250,000, uh, well over 250,000 residents in the city, and like, Virginia Beach is the largest city population wise. I think they're like a little over or close to 500,000 people that live in that city. But you go from a city to a town. So, okay, you have a city council and a town council. So, city council is your legislative branch at the city level. They pass ordinances, approve budgets, and oversee city services like police, fire, and sanitation. Now, different cities vary, right? Your city council could have 11 people on a full council. Some of them can have 9. I believe some folks can have 13 at all. It really all depends, right? So let me get some examples here. Let's, like, for example, in in my home city, we have 9 members of council. 9. You have one, and we're still, well, we're technically still what they call at large. We have an at large council, meaning every single individual on that council is at large. They represent all Chesapeake residents. You have some, cities that will have some form of like a district system or a ward system or some form of single member voting. So, for example, you might see folks that say, "Hey, I'm council such and such of District 7, or I'm such council of District A." It all varies. One section of this city might be considered District A, so that means that single council member represents only their district. So when folks want to speak to folks on their council, they have issues, whether if it's potholes, crime, you name it, they have one representative to go to. Now, if it was at large, they present themselves in front of the full council. They have a wider range of options to try and call up and see, hey, look, I need to hit you up. Now, if they have single member voting, they might have just one person that's at large, and that might be the mayor's position, or they might have 2 at large members and one well, sorry, 3 at large members including the mayor. So you might have 2 council members that are at large. Of course, you have your mayor at large, and then the rest will be representing a single district. So members of council is an important role. They're not celebrities. They're here to serve the community, serve the people. If anyone asks, and this is kind of I'm kind of stretching the conversation here, but when it comes to a council that is held accountable at all parts, I'm an advocate for single member voting. I like the single member voting option rather than the at large option. At the end of the day, you still have to keep your elected officials accountable regardless, but I prefer seeing single member voting because see in my hometown we have communities in my opinion that's being overlooked, and it's sad because the more well put together side or the side with better income is getting all the attention where the lower income areas they're being ignored. And I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. I say it time and time again. Treat the janitor the same way you're going to treat your CEO. The same way you treat your CEO, you need to treat the janitor, vice versa. No, there is no such thing as superiors. Yes, you have your um supervisors, bosses, but what I'm saying is respect. Give folks the same treatment equally, especially when it comes to leadership. If you are here to serve the full city and the community, then you need to make sure everybody in that community is taken care of, from lower class all the way up to upper class. Everybody should be treated equal. That's just my 2 cents with that. But again, that's city council, and then you have a town council. So a while back, I had on Mayor Wailing White of Ahoskie, North Carolina. He is a mayor of a city, but it's a little big city, right? It's a little big city, but it's still on the verge. I mean, I think they just became a city because I want to say they used to be in the town back in the day because they're in a rural part as well, but they are now a city. I believe he has a total of, I want to say 6 members on council, including himself. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's around 5 or 6, with him being at large, being the mayor. And so they have like members representing districts, certain parts of it. It's pretty common. If you want to kind of catch up on who serves on your local council, then go to their website. Their website is normally the city that you're in .gov. If you type that in, or if you put that in your Google search, most likely it will start showing different commissions, different committees, different boards, as well as council members, who serves, what's their names, what's their backgrounds, X, Y, and Z, how long have they been in this position before. It's very important, and you probably can catch up on what these meetings, what these council meetings, what are they discussing? What's the topic of discussion on this go round, right? Stay involved. You have to be aware and stay involved in what's happening in your backyard. You can't be clueless, y'all, because stuff moves so fast. And if you continue to avoid or act or just say, I'm not into politics, so I'm not gonna watch, I'm not gonna read up, I'm not gonna go out and vote. Well, that's, you know what? Shame on you. That's what I would just say. Shame on you, because stop running away. You cannot run away from politics. Politics is everywhere. It is everywhere, my friends. Look, we are gonna take a kind of stretched out that segment there, but it's okay. Do not go anywhere. We got a lot more show for you. You're tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. Be right back after these commercial breaks.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth. Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blend sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Let's get it going with our first story. MAGA turns on country star Zach Bryan over teaser for a new song mentioning ICE. So let me go ahead, pull up an image of who Zach Bryan is, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who or did not know who this gentleman was until I looked up. I'm like, okay, he's a country star. Okay, still, give me some more info. Grammy Award-winning country music star, so highly popular. Recently shared a teaser of a new song. Interesting thing himself. No, not Lord, I cannot talk today. Inserting himself. Get it together, Arrington. Inserting himself into a political debate that has divided the nation. Now, look, the 29-year-old is one of country music's biggest and rising stars, earning praise for his raw lyrics and genre of personal storytelling. Now, the minute-long teaser of his upcoming single, Bad News, has divided opinion on social media, with Bryan's right-leaning fans calling out his perceived criticism of President Donald Trump's unprecedented raids on undocumented immigrants, and those left-leaning praising his stance. Okay, so let's go ahead and because this is also reported by the Independent. Let me go ahead and read you a little more of this as I get my screen. Let's see here. Here's a brief snippet that includes to appear critical of police officers in immigration and customs enforcement, ICE agents for short. So as I read these lyrics, it says, didn't wake up dead or in jail. Some out of town boys been given a cell. I've got some bad news. Woke up missing you. My friends are all degenerates, but they're all I got. The generational story of dropping the plot. I heard the cops came. Well, I can't say it has an explicit on there. Let's just say let's just put it in perspective that it means arrogant MFers, ain't they? And ICE is gonna come bust down your door, try to build a house, no bills no more. Well, I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and all alone. He continues to say, the boss stopped bumping the rock, stop rolling, the middle fingers rising, and it won't stop showing. Got some bad news. The fading of the red, white, and blue. Now, the Grammy winning artist song has struck a nerve with conservatives who are outraged by the condemnation of ICE agents deployed under the Trump administration to deport undocumented immigrants. Now, quote here, I think this is one of the comments in X saying, no name country artist Zach Bryan slammed ICE for deporting criminal illegal immigrants. It's a stretch calling him an artist, but because he has no talent. One X user said angrily. Now, here's the funny thing. Of course, a lot of these folks are always they're disguised users, right? They never give a name or any form of information. That's the funny thing about just social media in general, but also the fact they said this no name country music. So he's a no name guy that happens to be a Grammy winning country artist. So he's pretty popular. Like I said, I don't know him. I don't know every country music artist like the back of my head. I know of country music and some country music artists, but I it doesn't catch my interest to be like, oh, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? So a second person amplified, adding, looks like someone doesn't want a career in country music anymore. Y'all know what to do. Here's my thing. When in the hell did country music start becoming so the genre of the right? When did that happen? Like around like what? I'm just curious, around what era or what period did that happen? Because being a millennial, you grew up assuming that country music was started up by just that it's a genre for mostly white folks to enjoy, right? And not trying to make it a race thing, but look, you rarely hear. That's why it's always so rare when you see a lot of successful black country artists. I mean, like Darius Rucker was like, oh wow, okay, bad, he's succeeding. Now you got a long list of black artists like Shabuzi, Mickey Geisen, Kane Brown. Beyonce had her country album out. Now there's still going to be debate between, is she a country artist or is this any other? But hey, she had a country album. There's so many country black, War and Treaty. How can I forget them? There's so many folks that of color, minorities that are that are lovers, that are artists, popular artists from the genre. But it's just curiosity. Is like, is it because like country music comes out of red states? Like, I mean, it's highly marketed in like hell, it's marketed in the state of Virginia, right? It's marketed in which Virginia's not a red state, it's a purple state, but they love their country music. Arkansas, Texas, Tennessee, Bama, they all love country music, and a lot of their fan base are folks that lean conservative, and so they don't like that. Not at all. Not at all. Says here, is what he spews actually country music anyway? He was terrible to begin with. Third person says. Others, meanwhile, have commented directly on Bryan's earlier Instagram posts to express their fury. I mean, the comments is going ham on this guy. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm not a fan of Zach Bryan by any means, but calling out ISIS in a song as one of the biggest modern country artists is actually huge. And they're right. They're right. You have not heard anybody from country music be vocal against this administration, because they know how lucrative country music is. They know how that could affect their reputation. We see folks like Jason Aldean, who is a Trump fan. He played for him. He's enjoyed his time at Mar-a-Lago. You had Carrie Underwood as well. She performed at the inauguration. She is a fan of Donald Trump. I mean, like I said, the list goes on and on. There are a lot of country artists that are. This was one that hurt me. Rascal Flatts lead singer Remember the group Rascal Flats? The lead singer is a Trump supporter. So the list continues to go on and on and on. But let me give you a bit of a background about Zach Bryan. Bryan is best known for his 2023 song "I Remember Everything," featuring fellow country star Casey Musgraves. The track appears on his fourth studio album, mostly called Zach Bryan. I really want to say Zach Brown because there's a band called Zach Brown Band. I really want to say Brown, but it's Zach Bryan. He has largely refrained from wading into politics, previously describing himself as a libertarian. However, in 2023, he voiced his support of the transgender community amid the backlash Bud Light faced for its partnership with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Now, again, very big of him being a member from the country music. Like, I mean, country music is still very old school. Like, when you hear about country music artists that come out of the closet or that are members of LGBT, you rarely like Brandy Carlisle is one of my all-time favorite singers. She is an amazing singer. Look her up. Now, she is in that country. She's in that country realm, but she's so much more commercialized. She's doing other things. She is not a fan of Trump. She doesn't speak. She speaks, but vocal, but not as vocal, if I might say. Folks still love her. Folks still want to see her, but she has such a broader audience than just country music. She's not just all her fans are not just in country music. Brandy get fans from the R&B, rock, pop, country, blues, you name it, all into one. That's how popular she is. Bryan wrote on X saying, "I just think insulting transgender people is completely wrong because we live in a country where we can all just be who we want to be. It's a great day to be alive," I thought. Kudos to this guy. I don't know. I might have to listen to this gentleman's music now because I'm becoming a fan the more I read this. Same year he was arrested. Oh, never mind. I'm joking. The same year he was arrested in Oklahoma on charges of obstruction of investigation after interfering with a traffic stop involving his security guard. In a dash cam footage of the arrest, he was shown getting heated with the highway patrol officer. He later gave fans further insight into his arrest on X. So he's had his run-in, acting, immature. I mean, hey, like I said, he's just 29 years old, so he's still a grown-ass man, but still. But again, I think this is a step. But do you think he's gonna receive a lot of praise from his fellow colleagues in country music? Do you think they're gonna follow him? You think they're gonna follow his path on, hey, when something is wrong, speak up. You have the platform for a reason. See, I always appreciate folks that listen. I don't want you to hurt your bag. I don't want you to hurt your progression, your momentum. But you have to realize when you are in the public eye, when you don't put yourself in a bubble, right? If your heart is saying, "Hey, look, I don't think this is right," so I'm gonna share. If I'm asked a question, I'm gonna share about it. I don't see why that's an issue at all. I think it's very brave and bold what this gentleman is doing because he is a country music artist. He knows that the states and countries and cities he's touring probably are pro-Trump's areas. So, I give him props. But look, he's not the only one that is that has been criticizing Trump over these on the immigration issue happening here. Another prominent supporter of Trump, because hell, he endorsed him this last election cycle. Joe Rogan, popular podcaster, UFC announcer, comedian. Yeah, that guy. Joe has been criticizing President Trump lately. He's also been criticizing another fellow politician, California Governor Gavin Newsom. So let's first talk about Joe Rogan's issue with Trump, which in my mind, I'm like, Joe, you did not see this coming. You truly thought you was like, okay, I think he's solid. I'll give it a try. I mean, look, I'm all for people giving candidates a try. As I mentioned before, when Trump first ran for office, I didn't see it as a big deal for when I encounter folks that voted for him. I'm like, hey, look, try him out. He won. Let's see how he does. After seeing that, I'm like, there's got to be another option. There has to be another. There just has to be. Then I see folks that continue to repeat voting for him. Then I start looking at 20. I'm like, y'all can do in the Republican Party. Y'all can do so much better. Y'all got other great candidates, right? You had a Texas Congressman Will Hurd, right? You could have gave Nikki Haley a try. You could have gave oh man, what's former Ohio Governor John Casey, could have gave him a try. You had options. You had options. But you instead went for Donald Trump. That's who you went for. So again, elections has consequences. But let me go ahead and read you this. So Tim Miller takes on Joe Rogan's moment of moral clarity on immigration, where Rogan slams the idea of deporting long-time residents and families. Tim explains why this clip could shift the conversation and why even some conservatives don't want to be the bad guys in America's immigration fight. Now, Tim Miller is he is a part of the Bulwark. I tune into Tim Miller. I'm a fan of him. He's a gentleman who left the Republican Party, and he's seen on a lot of platforms, mostly on MSNBC, but he is still, he still has his friends and ties in the Republican Party, and he's not scared to share if it's something is not right. He's like, hey, look, let's talk about it. So let me go ahead and read you some quotes from Rogan. Rogan quotes on Trump's immigration crackdown: have a effing heart. Okay. He says, you're throwing women to the ground, handcuffing people just for existing on the wrong side of the dirt. Find them a pathway to citizenship. Y'all, how many times I've been saying that here on the show? How many times? I'm like this. If somebody has been here for 20 plus years, undocumented, paying taxes here in the U.S., then find a pathway to citizenship for them. To just, grab them, force them to the ground, and then take them back, to their original home. To me, it should be better. And once again, I'll say this: not all immigrants or folks that enter in the country legally are criminals. See, you got somebody in Washington. Well, this is the administration as a whole. They put this evil spirit in society, saying, "Oh my gosh, they're coming here and they're doing this, they're stealing us, they're beating up, they're doing." I mean, it's disgusting. It's disgusting because it's not true. At the end of the day, these folks come here for a reason. They come here for a reason, for a better life. Now, don't get me wrong. Doing it the legal way, I'm all for. I'm not saying come here illegally, as you are. They need to be held accountable, but it's a certain way to do it. I've seen videos, we've all seen videos of, wives or mothers, or like I said, the spouses trying to say, look here. I mean, they're taking folks out of when they're in court, trying to literally saying, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm having the proper documentation. I'm doing this. They're taking them out of there. So some of them are trying to follow the right protocol, yet it's almost like a trap for them. Like they bait them in and then they boom, they take them away. But I've seen folks throwing. I mean, we saw a 79-year-old man get thrown to the ground, body bruised up, ribs broken. I mean, come on, y'all, come on. It has to be a different way to do things. And the funny thing is, President Barack Obama actually deported multiple people, more people than Donald Trump. But guess what? They did it differently. They did it differently. The way this squad is doing it, I mean, you got Homeland Security Chrissy Nome more, she's more interested in photo ops than actually doing her job. I mean, you have Pam Bondi literally arguing like I thought I was like. Did you see when she was on when she technically when she took the stand and she was just getting all mouthy with these elected officials? I'm just like, see, this is what kills me. This is what I can't stand is all the yelling on top of each other, not letting people get their point. It reminds me of the governor's debate that just happened, the gubernatorial debate that just happened, because that's been very viral too. Freaking Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, who's the Republican candidate, I mean, was talking all over Democratic candidate Abigail Spanberger, and it was just it was a turnoff for all folks. But let me continue on this. So Joe Rogan also has said the way it looks is just horrific. When you're just arresting people in front of their kids, everybody who has a heart can't get along with that. They're not even just arresting them, in front of their kids. They're arresting them at Home Depots. Stephen Miller literally said, well, it wasn't Stephen Miller, but a staffer in the Trump administration has said during the Super Bowl there will be ICE agents there to if they have to interject, and because they know that Bad Bunny is a very popular, he's an international superstar, so to them they're like, oh, this is gonna be a perfect bait, so we got to do this too. I mean, it's a lot. It really is. It's a lot, and it's causing a lot of tension here in the United States. So many folks have shared their frustration on it. And it's extremely unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate. But let me go ahead and digress from this story. I want to stay on the topic of Joe Rogan because excuse me. Gavin Newsom, California Governor Gavin Newsom has shared some words about Rogan, who, by the way, Rogan used to be a lifelong California resident, and he left I think around that COVID period. He moved out of California and moved to Texas, and he's pretty much built an empire in Texas since. He has a thriving, successful comedy club called the Mothership. I think he bought another. Well, yeah, he has a Mothership, and he has some other projects that he has going on over there, man. But he's killing it. He's killing it. He really is. He's built careers of other comedians, and now Austin, Texas is like a new territory for comedy. Like, you have a lot of comedians saying, "Oh, look, I got to move out to Texas and build up my career." You even have you got Ron White out there. You got Kill Tony. Tony Hitchcliff is out there. Continue to build up his resume. You got Roseanne that moved out. Well, bless her heart, Roseanne. She going through it because last special I saw Roseanne do was trash. It was garbage. But anyway, let me go back to talking about Gavin Newsom and the whole Gavin Newsom and Joe Rogan thing. So Gavin Newsom calls out Joe Rogan for talking about him behind his back in profane rank. Quote here says, "Let's do it." This is also reported by The Independent. And Rogan has repeatedly poked fun at the Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom, and Trump's folk claiming he wanted to be president so bad. As I read you guys this article, I've told you time and time again, Gavin Newsom is preparing for a presidential run. He's everywhere, and I know for sure he is running because his term is up as California governor. So he's definitely making room for a run at the presidential seat. But Gavin Newsom has called out podcaster Joe Rogan for talking about him so frequently. He also challenged him to invite him onto his show to debate. Rogan has repeatedly poked fun at the Democratic California governor, and recently said he wanted to be president so bad. Many have speculated that Trump foe Newsom may be eyeing a presidential run in 2028. I'm gonna tell you right now, he is. You're hearing it right now here on the Arrington Gavin Show. He is running for president. If y'all think he's not, that's crazy. He's running for president. Let's see, quote here. This is from Rogan. You can't ruin a city, then go to ruin a state and say, guys, that was just practice. Once I get in the president, once I get in as president, I'm gonna fix it all. Adding that he was a terrible politician and a BS artist. That's coming from Rogan. Now I would say this. Let me read you this and I'll give you my take. So, speaking on the Higher Learning podcast, Newsom threw down the gauntlet. He's been attacking me for years and years and years and won't have me on the show. Addressing Rogan directly, he continues saying, Joe, why won't you have me on the show? He won't have me on the show. It's one way. And he has guests coming and attacking and bashing, but he will not have me on the show, period. Full stop. Co-host of that podcast, Higher Learning Podcast, Lindsay then suggested that Newsom host Rogan on his podcast. This is Gavin Newsom. With the governor agreeing, he said, let's have it. Let's do it. Joe, come on my show, Joe. Lindsay then, okay, Rogan had also said that Newsom had managed to stay as governor for the long due to low competition for the job in California. There's no one who's good who is competing against him. There's no sincerity. He says the things that he says when he gets confronted with where the highest this and the highest that. Everybody's leaving California. You have the highest unemployment. You have the highest homeless, and even Hollywood is missing. You killed Hollywood. Like Hollywood doesn't exist anymore. It's literally gone. Let me tell y'all something. Joe Rogan is not wrong. He is not wrong. I've had the opportunity to visit California. We have family in California, and I was visiting like the Oakland side and the San Francisco side. And look, I have a lot of family out of New York. Again, a very expensive state, a very expensive city, New York City. Like, I have a lot of family in the city areas, and I've seen homeless before, right? You see, it's a big metropolitan city. You see homeless people, chilling on the side of the streets, X, Y, and Z. You see them hanging around at subway stations. You've seen homeless, right? But when you go to California, it's a different monster. That right there really, it really garnered it took my attention away from just enjoying the trip to like, wow, because it's the little things, right? I was at a random, might have been at like a Moe's or Chipotle, and I had to use the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, the bathroom is locked. I'm like, excuse me, this door is locked. So I'm thinking someone may, by accident forgot to unlock it when they were opening up the store. No, that's like a thing in California. They give you a code because of homeless. Then I'm like, oh, whoa, I did not know that. And then, you're driving around underpasses, or not even just there are neighborhoods of homeless people living in their tents. And I'm just like, because California is so damn expensive, and if you lose your job, you're up a creek. You really are. And look, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. This is nothing, as far as going after the governor, but California has earthquakes. California has forest fires, wildfires. California is expensive as hell to live in. I mean, what is there? What else is there to say? I mean, California is very, 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 very liberal, very liberal. And so when you combine a lot of that stuff, it could be a turnoff for the nation as a whole to say, well, look, we want to have Gavin Newsom as our next president. I think with the California baggage he has, it will be. I don't see him winning. I see him running, but I don't see him winning the presidential election, because it's like, hey, you gotta show us what you have done. Like, out of all 50 states, 51 states, 50 states, out of all the states in the United States, California is the one that's always getting criticized the most from both sides of the aisle, just on affordability. Affordability is a key thing on these presidential races. And it's like, okay, bro, what can you say for yourself in regards to what are you going to be doing? What are you going to be doing for the state? Are you going to be bringing on your strategies that you did when you were a governor to Washington? Like, what? And then Joe is also right in regards to Hollywood leaving California. There's been articles and stories of writers, and for one, you got Tyler Perry building a Black Hollywood, and not even just Black Hollywood, he's building a Hollywood of its own in Atlanta, right? More affordable. You see a lot of people flying overseas to do films, right? You have some folks pitching going to Texas. There were a few. I think there were Matthew McConaughey. Who else? Woody Harrelson. Dennis Quaid. I mean, there was a lot of folks that were pitching Texas. Go to Texas and film out there. I mean, Newsom is kind of he's kind of losing on this fight here. And I'll be honest, it was a turn on for me when I first heard him when he created this podcast that he has called This is Gavin Newsom. Look, I'm all for content creators. I think I would respect it a little more if he would have done so after his term is fully over. Like, he started this podcast around when I believe the wildfire that happened in, was it Pasadena or Altadena, one of the areas of California where they had those wildfires. The man started a podcast where he just wanted to sit down and talk with folks from opposing sides, like a Steve Bannon, who I don't know why people even give him the time of the day. Should not give him airtime at all. He had the late Charlie Kirk on. He had most folks on the opposing side. And so, again, Newsom finds himself in these hard positions. Now, I will say, he's a hell of a debater. He's a hell of a politician. You look at him, he is the epitome of what a politician looks like. He knows how to talk. He knows how to debate. Like, he has those key things. But at the end of the day, that California baggage, bro, it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt you. Rogan then also said, okay, he also talked about low competition. Now, the last election I remember he had was, well, his opponent, Republican nominee, was Larry Elder, longtime conservative talk show host who built a career in Los Angeles, built a career in California. Now you see him on Fox News and all other conservative outlets, but he made a career and he made it very far. I thought it was I did not think he was going to make it as far as he did. That joker made it so far. He became the Republican nominee, and honestly had a close chance of beating um Gavin Newsom. So to say that the competition is low, I wouldn't truly say that. It's just it's difficult bringing up a lot of, I guess, prominent or strong conservative competitors in a very strong liberal blue state, if that makes sense. So it will it's interesting. It really is interesting. So yeah, Gavin doing the whole calling out Rogan. I've seen Rogan on two. I've seen Rogan on two podcasts outside of his, and one of them was Flagrant 2 podcast, the Andrew Schultz podcast, and then another one was like a one-on-one sit down with Ben Shapiro. I'm blanking on the name, but that was the only two I've seen him outside of his show. Now, as far as debate wise, I mean, Joe is always, he preaches on the show that everybody's always welcome. So he, if he wants to come on mine, we'll come on and we'll talk and discuss. We'll discuss issues like that. Now, Rogan is really not a debater. I've seen him kind of go back and forth with Candace Owens on global warming, because that's a big thing that Rogan cares about. But he should invite him on his podcast. Joe Rogan should invite him on the podcast, and I would like to see that interview. I don't think Joe should go on his, just because I think that would, it would help the ratings for Gavin Newsom's podcast more than help Rogan's. But we will see, my friends. We will see. Look, let's go ahead and we're going to take a quick commercial break. Thank you for sticking with us. Do not go anywhere. We got a lot more show for you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
Jazeera Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazeeraLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. All right, let's see. How much time do I got? Okay, I think I got time for one more for you guys. Well, look, I want to talk about U.S. Senator, Pennsylvania U.S. Senator John Fetterman. John Fetterman has not been a fan of his own party since he was brought into the U.S. Senate. He is a Democrat. He's always seen as kind of like that lonesome Democrat that will lean more or agree more with the Republican side, and also speak against his own party. Now, that's not to say I don't think he's a Democrat. I just think that he just simply says, okay, in his mind, what is more of a beneficial option, right? Same thing for like back when there was Joe Manchin out of West Virginia, right? He was a moderate Democrat. He's now left he's retired, but he's also left the Democratic Party too. So recently, Fetterman was one of the only individuals that had congratulated Trump on the Gaza peace deal. Now, look, I personally don't think that was a bad thing what Fetterman did. That war between Israel and Gaza was a big deal. So having that peace deal is an accomplishment. Look, I've said it time and time again on the show. When the administration does wrong, I'm gonna talk about it. When they do good, hey, look, I'll talk about it. This was a big deal, and he should get the administration should get credit for this. Key word, I said the administration, not Trump as a whole. See, here's the thing. What I can't say about Trump is Trump thinks he is a superior one that does all the good stuff. He has a team behind him. It's a team effort. If you ever go back to listen to other previous presidents speak, they always say, under this administration, we have done this, that, this, and X, Y, and Z. Trump was said, I have done this, I will do that, and I've accomplished this, and I should get more respect. They should thank me. They should really thank me, but they're not, because they're crooked. And that's how he does. So anyway, John Fetterman was among the first senators to congratulate Trump on the Gaza peace deal, often accused as of a rightward shift in making concessions to Donald Trump's base, cheers President's Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreement. Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman was among, as I mentioned earlier, the first members of Congress to congratulate Trump for the securing a historic peace deal between Israel and Hamas to end the war in Gaza after 2 years of conflict. Now, Trump was interrupted by Secretary of State Marco Rubio during a White House roundtable event recently. Rubio briefed him that a cease agreement between the two sides was closed. The president duly announced the deal on Truth Social, inspiring fresh calls from conservatives for him to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, he has not won the Nobel Peace Prize. It was given to a lady who was I believe the first I don't know. It was oh man, I want to say she was I'm blanking on who it was, but it was a lady, I believe, out of Puerto Rico that had received the Nobel Peace Prize. So came up short there, Donald. But Fetterman is a strong supporter of Israel. He reposted Trump's announcement congratulating POTUS on a historic peace deal plan that releases all the hostages. Now enduring peace in the region is possible. Our parties are different, but we have a shared ironclad commitment to Israel and its peace. Again, I'm looking at my time, so I will continue this conversation from Senator John Fetterman, what he had to say in regards to this, because he has been and he continues to receive backlash from his own party. He's even spoke about potentially ditching the Democratic Party just because he's like, hey, look, I'm not a fan of what we're doing here. I hate the fact that we have to be so partisan, and we really need to come together more and avoid this party politics, and we gotta start compromising more, because that's where Fetterman leans in. He leans on the side of let's come together, because at the end of the day, we need to care more. Y'all, we're going to continue this conversation on the next program. But as always, thank you so much for sticking with us and tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure to tune in weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms, as well as on the radio airwaves. Y'all take care. Make sure you get out there and vote if you haven't. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.